All right, first video of the new year 2021. We're starting it off right. Optimism, positivity, that's where we're coming from. Enjoyment, Cobra Kai. Say it, Cobra Kai never dies. I want to hear that next season. Cobra Kai Season 3. So Cobra Kai Season 3 is the third season of Cobra Kai. It's on Netflix. This is quite a hiatus. Feels like Season 2 came out eons ago. And so now we finally have Season 3. And just letting you know, spoilers, the spoiler warning here. I'm going to talk about spoilers for Season 3. It's not going to be a play-by-play or anything like that. I'm just going to get a little more spoilerish than maybe you would want me to. So, watch Cobra Kai Season 3. If you don't want spoilers, or don't watch this video, or watch Season 3 and then come back to this video. Point is, long story short, Season 3 is good. Cobra Kai is good. You should watch it. If you haven't gotten on it by now, you should. Now's the time, friends. Now's the time. Whereas where we left off in Cobra Kai Season 2, lots of things went down. There was a super high school brawl among Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. Then Robby kicked Miguel over the stairwell of their high school. Miguel smacked his back on the rail. Then John Kreese steals Cobra Kai from Johnny. Johnny's sitting on the beach with that awesome rendition of Cruel Summer playing. Johnny just smashes the bottle on his car and leaves. And there's a friend request from Allie Mills on Facebook that he didn't know about. So yeah, people were in a bad place when Season 2 ended, and they're gonna pick up pretty much right there, though it's been a couple weeks. So, okay, Johnny's in a rut. Robby's nowhere to be found. Miguel's in a coma. John Kreese is doing pretty well for himself. I mean, he stole a man's business. He's sitting pretty. Which, I'll start this out by talking about John Kreese, because John Kreese is he's just a proper villain. The guy is a complete and total shitbag. I can't curse in the first minute of the YouTube videos, says the algorithm. Hopefully it's been a minute. Time flies when you're rambling about Cobra Kai, but he is a complete shitbag. I mean, of everybody of Cobra Kai, Karate Kid mythos, there's that opportunity to have a turnaround, We saw that with Sato. We've seen it with Johnny. There's always that opportunity to turn it around, Villains can always become heroes. Unless you're John Kreese. That guy will just die a scumbag because his arc is pretty much this. In Karate Kid 1, he was an asshole poisoning the minds of youth. And in Cobra Kai, get this, he's an asshole poisoning the minds of youth. However, in this season of Cobra Kai, we get some backstory with John Kreese. We see flashbacks of where he came from in his youth, and when he joined the military, and where that whole mindset comes from. That whole mindset of, there's a war coming. Rival dojos totally mean war when we're fighting for the pride and joy of the San Fernando Valley. That's just a sane mindset. It doesn't justify it. It gives you context without justifying. I like seeing the flashbacks. Also, they have a proper villain moment, otherwise known as just villain moments where I like to like the villain for that one moment. They have a moment like that with John Kreese. The whole enemy of my enemy thing, that's a theme in this season of Cobra Kai. And it will be in next season also. There's this moment when Tori has this total creeper landlord who's like, hey, you can give me the money, or you can give me something else. And then John Kreese just puts the guy's finger in a cigar cutter, and it's pretty much like, you're gonna leave her alone. Anyhow, good moment. I like a moment where it's like, that guy is irredeemable, complete shithead. He will be a shithead forever. But I did like him in that moment. Now, Miguel and Johnny are still the heart of the show. They've been the heart of the show from the beginning, and they're the heart of the show now. Miguel's having a rough time because, he can't walk, so Johnny's like, I gotta make this right, I gotta help him walk. And I love seeing that, though at this point with Cobra Kai, there are a lot of cogs, man. There are a lot of gears turning. There are a lot of factions, I guess you'd say. And at a point in the show, I felt like Johnny was kind of getting pushed to the side. Like, it used to be Johnny's show, and it was Johnny versus Daniel LaRusso, but Daniel was a supporting character, and they were each other's villains, You didn't have this external force. You didn't have this other villain come into the mix yet. So it was a neat show about villainy and heroism, and those are perspectives, and your enemy always thinks they're the hero. Every villain's the hero of their own story, right? Right, so now Daniel's getting more screen time in this season. I kind of felt like Johnny was getting pushed to the side, though it does, the equation evens out by the end. I also suppose I rolled with it because I actually like the arc with Daniel where he goes to Japan. And that was a rumor, right? The whole rumor online was like, oh, Daniel and Johnny are gonna team up and they're gonna go to Okinawa. And it doesn't really happen like that. Daniel and Johnny do team up to go find Robby. But of course, you know, it's Daniel and Johnny, so it only lasts so long. And Daniel does go to Japan, but logistically, there's a reason for Daniel to go to Japan. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that the show's like, look, you can't take Cobra Kai too seriously. It is still a show where Dimitri beat Hawk in a fight, impossible, but it never fully jumps the shark to the point where you don't take the lessons the show's giving you, and yes, there are lessons in this show. It never does it to the point where you don't take those lessons to heart. So enter the fact that Daniel goes to Japan. It's like, well, why would he go to Japan? You know, maybe he needs to go to Japan to clear his head, but that's like something that someone would think about, but they wouldn't actually do. They'd be like, oh, I need to go to Okinawa, clear my head. But in the end, I'll probably just stick around here and, you know, the business needs me. So there's a business reason that he has to go to Japan. And while he's at Tokyo, he's like, well, let me go to Okinawa and, you know, just hop over there. It's a shorter jaunt at that point, so why not? Yeah, when your business is in trouble, you'll get a plane ticket and you'll be at Japan. So it actually worked in an interesting way to get him over there. Also, when he's catching up with some friends and enemy from Karate Kid 2, I enjoyed seeing that also. Daniel's catching up with Kimiko. Chosen is in it. Like, you know, the one who held Kimiko at knife point and said, hey, we're gonna fight to the death, Daniel, or I'm gonna kill her. Yeah, they're all in a room together now. But again, it's Cobra Kai, and the entire theme of the show is the fact that people can grow and change. It's basically, Cobra Kai is the antithesis of social media. I think I've said that before. Twitter's Twitter. Cobra Kai is a little more like real life in the fact that your mistakes of your past, they are yours to own, and they shape you into who you are in the sense that you grow from them. Jean-Luc Picard can be a cadet who cheats a Nausicaan at the Domjot table in the name of him getting stabbed and growing and becoming Jean-Luc Picard. Mistakes are supposed to happen. Enter the villain from Karate Kid 2 is now this really cool, wise older dude. I thought it was awesome to see him in that light. When it started to get to where it's like, yeah, they're probably gonna bring Karate Kid 2 characters into it, you think, how's that gonna go down? And I think making him this wise friend who's wise because he was a shit in his youth, and he's there to give Daniel some wisdom. I think that's the perfect way to have his character in Cobra Kai. Also, Ali is in this season. There was also a rumor where it's like, oh, Ali is going to perform the surgery on Miguel and help him walk, which doesn't happen. That's not how that happens, and I'm glad, because I'd be stuck there going, what are the odds of that? I never bought the idea of Ali, who, what did she live in Chicago or something like that? Coming to California to perform surgery on this kid because this kid is the student of someone she dated once in high school. It doesn't happen that way. She's in town because she has family there, and she gets in touch with Johnny because of the Facebook message he sent last season. So it logistically worked. And also, she's not there to be a Johnny love interest, because the whole romance thing with Johnny and Miguel's mom, that sparks back up, which, go Johnny. So that sparks back up and you think, oh, it's like Ali is gonna be this tension, this whole drama-fueled tension. No, that kind of love interest tension, that's for the high school students. But she's here for this lesson for Johnny, which is appreciate who you have now, appreciate what you have now, remember the past, enjoy the memories of the past, but don't live in the past, live in the present, live for the future. And then they hug and they go their separate ways. It was the way they brought Ali in, I thought was actually pretty smart. And again, it points to the fact that Cobra Kai, it doesn't overcook the camp. It doesn't overcook the cheese. It's a show that's very, if I can sum it up in a word, self-aware. That's 2 words. But it's very self-aware. It knows where it's ridiculous, and it knows how to play up the ridiculousness, but it doesn't make it so ridiculous that you just check out. It's a solid balance of ridiculousness, entertainment, and heart. A balance that you rarely find these days. That's what I like about it. It's kind of, it has enough of the old school mixed with some flair of the new school. Well, after all that, it does start to get a bit ridiculous in the sense that why don't they go to the cops at the end? Like, at a point, they do try, the LaRussos try to go to the cops. But John Kreese beat them to it and was like, oh, she came to my dojo and slapped me and assaulted me. And all right, so he plays that up. I don't know that it would completely and totally go down like that, but okay, I'm glad they at least addressed the fact of like, why don't they go to the police? But at the end of this season, there's this huge throwdown in the LaRusso household. Like, these Cobra Kais just break into the LaRusso house and fight everybody there. Shit's getting destroyed, shit's getting broken, people are out for blood. And at the end of this fight, when it all ends, Daniel goes to John Kreese, who's like, you sent them to my house, which of course fight breaks out, which I like the fight. It's high time that John Kreese gets some hits landed on him. I like that fight. I like the fight at the house. The Cobra Kai end fights, they're always entertaining. I don't think I've liked any of the fights as much as I like the end tournament fight from season 1 though. There's something about a tournament. There are rules there, and there are different logistics than an all-out brawl. I just enjoy the tactic you need to use in a tournament because you can't just go all out. I end up being more entertained with a tournament fight. And John Kreese is like, let's settle this the old-fashioned way. At the tournament. I'm like, no, I'm calling 911 because your students broke into my house and assaulted people, and that's on you. Someone would at least attempt to call the police or report it. But no, the tournament, let's do it old school, because we're fighting for the soul of the valley. Duh. Come on, adults. But I gotta say, as ridiculous as that is in particular, it does leave off in a place where I'm really intrigued for next season. You know, the whole like enemy of my enemy thing, like I said, is in this show. Daniel and Johnny work together at a point. And actually, there's now 3 dojos. There's Miyagi-Do, which is Daniel, Cobra Kai, which is John Kreese, and Johnny starts his own dojo, which is Eagle Fang. There's some faction changes, like Hawk, who is Cobra Kai for life, always has been. He flipped and he was like, you know what? I think Cobra Kai, I think they're dicks now. Which seemed like a bit of a sudden flip for me. I suppose it felt sudden for me because it's kind of said to be like, oh, the whole breaking Dimitri's arm thing, that was the line for him. But really, that's not it. You see that tension between him and John Kreese. You see him start to doubt John Kreese and his tactics throughout this season. John Kreese brings in the bully that called him shit lip in the first season. He starts to see that John Kreese doesn't care about the kids. He just wants kids to wage his war for the sake of his own ego and for the soul of the valley, the important stuff. So when I took a step back and saw it from there, I was like, oh, okay, that's fair. That's actually a thing this show does very well, is it keeps the star villain, you know, like the villain of the season. It keeps that fresh. You never know who it's gonna be. It was most complex for me first season because it was Johnny's kid in Daniel LaRusso's dojo. Miguel was a Cobra Kai. He was fighting a bit hardcore, but he was a good kid. You know, it's like all that complexity working. Now it's a little more black and white. It's like, dude, John Kreese and his gang of shitbags are clearly the worst people, and we need to stop them for the soul of the valley. Robby's unlikable, I'll be honest. He doesn't have a lot of screen time, but every time he did have screen time, I was like, oh, okay, this kid again. He got a haircut. Haircut looks good. Good on him, because you know he was like, guys, producers, folks, come on. There's even, oh God, with Robby. All right, so there's a scene, you know, because high school drama's up. My mom finally saw Cobra Kai not too long ago, and she just told me, she was like, hey, I finished Cobra Kai. As much as you talk so much shit about those Twilight movies for having that teen drama bullshit, Cobra Kai has so much of that teen drama bullshit. I was like, not the same, Mom. There's this scene where Miguel and Samantha LaRusso, they're in the backyard, you know, and they're just like flirty batty eyes at each other. And then Robby shows up and he's like, I see how it is. It's like, yeah, Robby, I think you see exactly how it is. The kid you kicked off of the stairwell balcony and paralyzed is flirting with the girl you never wrote to when you went to juvie because of it. Yeah, you probably see exactly how it is. Anyone, like, if they were in Robby's position, would show up and be like, well, in the end, I do understand where they're both coming from on this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and back out. Maybe they didn't see me. Hopefully they didn't see me. The kid's ridiculous, but it does leave off where now he's in Cobra Kai and he's training with John Kreese. And you know, that's a slap in the face to Johnny. And also, I think they should just lean into that. Just make Robby a bad kid. Make him the bad guy. Make him a villain and just make it happen. Because Robby being this fringe good guy, maybe he's a good guy, it's like, he's not interesting enough for that. Just make him a bad guy. John Kreese can be like, yeah, Johnny, he's who you could have been by my side. He's the full potential of your bloodline. You know, all those speeches, because they're fighting for the soul of the most important place on earth, the Valley. So in the end, it's another great season for Cobra Kai. What can I say? It's ridiculous when it wants to be fun. It's heartfelt enough for you to take in the lessons because it's not so ridiculous. You're like, it has nothing to say. If they overcooked the cheese, it would be a guilty pleasure watch, and I'd still say I enjoy it at a guilty pleasure level, but it's not. It's just really good entertainment. And I, for one, love Johnny's character. Next season, they're bringing in Terry Silver because of the flashbacks. You see Terry Silver, you see this one dude, you're like, you are Terry Silver for sure. You got the hair, you got the grin, and then the guy dies. You're like, oh, I guess you're not. And it was the other guy that was Terry Silver. But you know that guy auditioned to be Terry Silver. And I guess they were like, you're so perfect, I think we're gonna fool the audience and then have you killed because you're so perfect for young Terry Silver. Point is, next season they're bringing him in. I do get a bit of concern because that's more of a Daniel storyline than Johnny, because Johnny doesn't even know who Terry Silver is. But Daniel has that history with Terry Silver, so bringing him in, I feel like it's gonna be more Daniel screen time. Not that I hate Ralph Macchio or anything, but I just feel like Cobra Kai, Johnny's story is what I signed up for. It's what's kept me engaged. He's the character I love most in it. So if you're gonna give Daniel more screen time again next season, just don't cut Johnny out too much. Keep him the focal point, the center of attention, because it is his show. And I hope they remember that. All right, so Cobra Kai Season 3. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? How did the seasons rank for you? I don't even know how I'd rank them. That's kind of a shit thing to ask you how to rank them, and I don't even know how I'd rank them. But whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more. Wait, no, how does John Kreese do it?